So today I was having a really weird issue here. So what I was getting was my printer was just stopping mid-print. So here I have a print for an upcoming video, a solar panel powered street light indicator. So it'll be something that lights up and shows the street number, so you always know where you are in suburbia. But anyways, while I was printing it, my printer would just stop in the middle of the print, and it would be really weird because on the display, I've reset it since, so I don't have it, but on the display it would say printing, and the temperatures would be holding, and the PWM would turn on and off, so you would see the bed go into bang bang, and you would see the temperatures fluctuate up and down, but nothing would happen. So I would try to log in to my Octoprint server, which is powered by the module there, and it would just be really slow. So I did some digging, and it turns out that this is an older Pi. I think it's a Pi Model 2 versus my normal, much longer running Pi as things focus. My much older running one, that's a Pi 3, which is much faster than the original Pi 2. And so I did some Googling, and what I found was these, I only originally had a 550 milliamp charge adapter, 5-volt adapter, jeez. And that was what was causing the slowdown. So what would happen would be that that would be trying to issue commands to the printer. Eventually the voltage would drop so low, either because it was trying to read some other devices, or maybe since this one doesn't have a selector that I'm able to find, maybe it's drawing some 5-volt from the USB to power its internal logic there. So for reference, for people who don't know, there are many different types of voltages that break down here. So not only is there the input, 24 volt or 12 volt, whatever you have on your machine, but that then splits it out into 5 volt, 3.3 volt, and whatever else you want. So there's no switch or no jumper on this one to select whether you want the USB line input to run your 5 volt and then that runs your 3.3 volt, or have a separate built-in regulator that will then run the electronics as well. So I was thinking that with this finally being used on longer prints, and with such a low total amperage 5-volt supply that is supposed to be powering the Pi and then going to the bus, and then if this was also drawing that 5 volt and using that to power its electronics, eventually that would just freak out and then no longer work at all, which is also why the web interface was slow to non-existent. It was like it had crashed, but yet the Pi was still running in the background, but much slower than normal. So what I've done is I did that, but I also reflashed the board here with to use a lower baud rate. So I was using 250,000 as a baud rate, and I did the half version. So it's the 115,200, so 115,200 baud rate. And so hopefully that'll help synchronize communication as well, just in case something screws up. There wasn't any errors in the terminal at all, but it was something to improve on, especially since I don't have a spare USB cable that has a ferrite block, which is unlike this one here. So the one, oops, I was touching the wires for the relay or flipping on and off. So anyways, that one has a ferrite bead there that helps eliminate all the electrical heebie-jeebies, more or less, inside of it. So what I actually did was that this white cable here, so this Pi is always powered off of this hub here, which can supply up to 1.2 amps of 5 volt for each one of those 2 ports there, and then the back 5 are just the regular 500 milliamp. So what I've done is I've hooked into that hub and then fed that over there. So now even if this board here is taking the 5 volt, we should be good to go. And I'm gonna retry printing, and hopefully this will stay online with the reduced baud rate. And then that I've also now that I know I have more power and I wanted a faster interface, since this is the lower one, I also overclocked the CPU to 1000 megahertz, so gigahertz, and then I reduced the GPU memory down to 16 megabytes from the stock 256, I believe. I'll share what I did in the configs to figure that out. But that might be one of the reasons why I can't, well, I wasn't able to really get that to run correctly. So from what I've read online, it should be good to go. Now that I have it loaded up on my computer now, it appears that the interface for this version of Octoprint, which is, you know, it's all updated, and I'm not running any beta versions right now, but once that's updated, should be good to go. So yeah, there's kind of my daily trials going on here, and it was clean like a week ago, but now it's such a mess with everything I'm doing. But I'm gonna get her fired up and back to printing. I got a couple projects that I'm wanting to share pretty soon, and thanks for watching. Hasta la bye bye.